Good morning, everyone. So, we are on another test drive. It's been a while. The last one was with my mom's 2003 Honda CR-V. And this one is my friend's 2021 Mazda 3. He bought this, of course, in 2021, I just told you. And the reason why he bought it is because he test drove my 2016 Mazda 6. That made him basically, get the vehicle because of the feel. So this is just going to be the same quick test drive that we did last time. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Now this car still has the same 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, but it's been smoothened and been massaged by Mazda, so it has much better running parts meaning smoother operation throughout. And of course there are some parts of the engine that are significantly an upgrade from the 2016 Mazda 6. As you can tell, this car has a beautiful dash design and it has nice soft touch all over, which I love. Basically it's a good improvement or a good upgrade from my 2016 Mazda 6. Now the wheelbase is a tad shorter compared to my 2016 Mazda 6, but it still has a nice quiet ride throughout. Now this car did have an independent rear suspension towards the 3rd generation, but Mazda decided to do a non-independent rear suspension in the back for packaging purposes, but it still does its job. It's a bit softer in feel, but you can still feel the lightness of this vehicle. Now the Mazda 3 has been around, I believe, since 2004. I did have a 2004 and a 2007 or 2008 Mazda 3. That was when Mazda was still with an alliance with Ford, which that platform actually spawned a Volvo as well as the Ford Focus. Also had Duratec motors, but they were MZR internal codes, because Mazda would simply modify them for that purpose for Mazda. There we go. This car does pick up speed really well. The suspension is very taut still, but a little bit softer, but you can still feel the Mazda signature suspension too. Now the cool thing about the 1st generation CX-5 and 3rd generation 3 and 6 is the fact that they went all into the new Sky Active full platform during the 2014 model year. So which means, I believe, don't quote me, the Mazda CX-5 actually spawned the 6 and the 3. So without the CX-5, there wouldn't be a 3 and a 6 with the Sky Active motor or Sky Active platform. Now for people that are looking for a vehicle that is comparable to this, I would say it would be the Civic and the Corolla. If you want bigger space, I would suggest getting the Honda Civic or Toyota Corolla. This car is pretty spacious to a certain point, but if you do want something bigger, those vehicles are available. But if you want something a little bit more intimate, this is what the Mazda 3 is. It's intimate. Same thing for my Mazda 6. It's a very intimate vehicle, and it was, it was big enough to haul 5 people comfortably. Alright, so we're going through the same route. At have to say though, compared to my 2016 Mazda 6, this has a much more softer suspension tuning. Because during it's a bit stiffer with the Mazda 6 that I had when I was going over, dips and speed bumps. As for the transmission has also been not redesigned, but reprogrammed to basically operate in a much smoother setting. Now, when this generation came out, there was still a 2-liter 4-cylinder Skyactiv motor as the base model. This is above the base model, which I will have the information on the screen for you for this vehicle. But that vehicle actually is had the original 2-liter Skyactiv motor that was used in the previous generation Mazda 3, which also introduced the previous generation Mazda 3 to the Skyactiv engine, but not the platform. Let's get her up to speed. What I love about this vehicle is, even though this is not the top of the line model, it feels quality. Even the non-leather steering wheel has a quality touch to it. There are touch points throughout this vehicle, soft touch points in the dash right here, and the infotainment screen is a much improvement compared to the 3rd generation Mazda 3. Also, the way that the buttons just pretty much click, you could feel the quality that Mazda put into this vehicle. Oh, by the way, good morning to everybody, to all of my subscribers, wherever you are. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. I know there's a big shift. I've been saying that throughout, of a lot of Hot Wheels, but I'm also a Hot Wheels and Matchbox fanatic. Used to have a lot of them when I was a kid, and I enjoy collecting them. Let's pick up speed. So actually feel the suspension absorbing little ruts on the road, and it does not quell the car or make the car jump, which is what I love. Mazda engineers know how to engineer suspension for their vehicles. They make the suspension feel at least not boring, if you know what I mean. It makes you want to drive the car fast. And it's fairly quiet in the vehicle. There's barely any road roar from the tires. Suspension is pretty compliant, like I said earlier. Brakes are fairly satisfying as well. And also, if you could hear it, the way that the signal light is turns on, it has that very quality feel. The gauges are, of course, in the middle. It's that analog, as you can see here. And there's a lot of settings throughout. There is an infotainment setting right here where you could get the information, entertainment, so on and so forth, adjust if need be. So let's see. Like I said, because of the way that this car suspension is, it's very sporty yet taut and compliant. So as usual, we're going to the loop here, and I've been taking the 3 cars that so I'm gonna go. Let's see. Let's get this car up to speed. Car is very light on its feet, which I love. It picks the speed automatically, fast. I'm gonna go on the first apex. I like this lane because it has a little bump or a little dip on the road. Let's see how this car does. A little bit of leaning. Here's the bump. Okay, it's a good suspension setting. What I noticed is it's softer, which I've been saying to you guys. It's a softer suspension setup, which is fine. Mazda is going towards more of a luxury feel, and I think the rear suspension made that possible. Although it's weird that the independent rear suspension, they should have kept it and retuned it, because the Nissan Sentra has it, as well as the Honda Civic and the Corolla. Here, let's go straight here. The cool thing is this, you cannot upset this vehicle. If you do, you are driving this car a little too hard. Alright. Let's go back one more time around the loop. Time. Alright. And what I like about the transmission is it automatically downshifts really fast. It feels like you're driving a manual. It just knows how to, downshift. So whatever gear you're thinking, the car just does downshifts through it. So let's go to one more S-curve here. I love the fact that the steering is very telepathic on this car. I wish there was more feedback, but you can feel the road. Feel the road on the steering wheel. Many cars have very, let's say, numb feeling. I'm just very happy that Mazda kept this. The steering is not as hefty as a 2016 Mazda 6 that I had, but you could flag or flop this around a course here. Well, it's not a course, but on turns and S-curves and everything. Well, I hope you guys like this video. Again, thank you so much for all the support. Hopefully I can get another video out of the test drive, and I hope you guys have a wonderful and magnificent weekend. And whatever you guys do, if you guys want to stay happy, do what you love to do. For me, I've been doing this since February. I'm very happy of the way that the channel has been progressing and such. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful weekend. And as I say, until next time.